Marcellus Sports Shooting Stars, we're bringing the game to you. And this Friday, it's the biggest one yet. That's right, the 2025 PIAA 6A District 3 Football Championship. Harrisburg Cougars, Central York Panthers, and I got the Panther coach on with me right now, Coach Gerry Yonchiuk. Coach, thanks for jumping on with me.
Oh man, Marcellus, I appreciate it. You're the good luck charm, so don't let it go.
I want to look back at this last week, Coach. 42-7 over Wilson. Wilson has had your number before in the districts.
Yeah.
Coach, what did that feel like, and how proud are you of your squad?
That was the very first thing I said. I said, guys, I am so proud of you because we did not play well last year. And that's on me. We just, we made uncharacteristic mistakes. And I felt we were the better team. I'm not saying it was not going to be a 42-7, but I thought we were a 7-point team better than them, and we didn't do it. And those guys are used to winning. And that I was told last year that was the fifth time or fourth time we played them in the history only. And the first year here, they upset us when Bo was a senior. And it was just one of those nights we had our opportunities, we didn't do it, and they played keep away. The quarterback ran power read, really affected us. But this time going in, our guys were stoked. They were ready to play. I mean, it didn't take any motivation. They knew that, they felt, well, you're York County team, you're weak or whatever it may be. And they're like, not this time. So that part was really neat just to see the challenge. They answered the bell and came out and they were ready.
Well, you've won the district championship before, Coach. I got to know, as a amateur coach myself, when you lay down at night and you close your eyes, like what kind of emotions do you have like leading up to Friday?
It was more or less like right now, it's kind of like the calm before the storm. So Friday night was the euphoria. We got that huge win and how great it felt. And then it's back to work basically on Sunday. I mean, we come in Saturday morning, break down the film, watch that. Our players are off on Sunday as they have to be, and they would want them to be. And then we dive into film and see what we can do, and try to set up the correct game plan. The last thing you want to do is play the game and go, why did we do A, B, and C when we should have done D, E, and F? So you try to prevent that from happening. So we're working on it. So there's really not a whole lot of time to be super amped up in terms of that, because it's the mental part that as a coaching staff you have to work on right now. And that's where we're at with it. So the one thing we do on Mondays is really neat. We do it on Thursday as well, as our scouting report is really extensive. And to break that down and go through it, and then there's a quiz basically that our players have to do. So they have to do their film study, and it's been really good. And I have to credit Mike Cesarano. It's something that he brought that I guess way back Tim Rimfeld did at Cumberland Valley, and I really like it. I mean, I always had a scouting report, but this is extensive. John Tuttle, our line coach, goes through all that stuff, and then it's broken up. I let our coordinators do it. So Josh Campbell is our OC, done a phenomenal job this year. We're averaging 46 points, which is tops in the state 6A, and I'm proud of that, not with arrogance, but there's so many games where we pulled those guys after a series in the second half. So they could have scored more, but that's not the point. The point is just keeping and maintaining that level.
Brooklyn A's 2,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, Coach.
What Cade Perbola was telling me today, he said, Coach, where's he at? Because he's closing in on Cade, who's the all-time York County holder. But I said, Cade, how many touchdowns did you have in high school? He goes, 66. I said, okay. What did Bo have? And he said, well, Bo had 74. I said, well, right now, Brooklyn's at 81. So he's already surpassed the York County record by 7 touchdowns with this game going in, and, hopefully more to come.
Well, Coach, I just got goosebumps for some reason, but I want to ask you about that number 1 and what that means for Central York Panthers. I know there's history to that and a true meaning to being able to wear that number 1.
Well, John Daniels' son tragically passed away in an accident on a jet ski way before I wasn't here. And John's on our 8th grade staff, him and his wife, tremendous people, and they wanted to retire their son's number, and that's what he wore. And so there's a locker in our locker room enshrined with all Joey's stuff. When I got here, Bo was going into his junior year, and we asked the Daniels family, could we honor their son by having an unbelievable character young man represent him and wear the jersey. And they were tickled pink to, to be able to carry on his spirit through that number. And we did that 2 years ago when Brooklyn was a sophomore. And I actually had the player ask because I thought it meant a lot more than coming from me, and how the player was very sincere saying, I'd like to honor your family. And once again, with Brooklyn being such a class individual and human being, John and his wife agreed to it. So we're just really proud to be able to do that. I think that's special. It's interesting that you said that because I didn't know anyone knew that. It's kind of like an internal thing, but it's nice for people to know that that's why we do that. We want it to always be special for the Daniels family.
Well, that's pretty powerful there, Coach. Man, your offensive weapons have been stepping up all season long. Legend Johnson, no, Ali Johnson, right with a junior on his tail there,
Yeah.
Deuce. Of course, Brendan Smith, DeMarcus Murray, Ryan Brown Jr., Josh Barr. Such an explosive group. What makes them so connected and gelled like they are?
I just think it's, the system that we run, they have bought into it. And the air raid principles, it's a read progression system in terms of the throwing part. But I think the thing that really makes us go well is the fact that we run the ball so well. Because you could throw it every down, but if people are dropping 8 or 9 guys in the box, you're going to be at 50%. But Brooklyn is passing at a 78% completion rate. So there was a guy last week here doing the game who was a former NFL quarterback, and he said, Coach, he said, I don't even understand how you can do that. He said, I'm just blown away. He goes, I played in the NFL for 5 years at quarterback. So I thought that was a really cool analysis of, what Brooklyn is doing. So you got to take care of the football. But probably, Marcellus, the biggest thing we have the turnover ratio this year. We've given up 3, and we've gotten the ball 23 times.
Wow.
So that's kind of unheard of, but we work so hard on ball security. And they think I'm crazy. I'm like, guys, I'm going to do this to my last breath. You're going to work on ball security because you turn it over. That's huge. And the other neat part this year, we have 6 block punts. If you do some research on block punting, for every block punt a team has, if you block one against the opponent, you have a 90% chance or greater winning the game. You can win the special teams battle, play sound football on defense, run of the ball, wrap up, tackle well, and then protect it on offense with, Brooklyn not throwing interceptions and our guys holding on to the football. It gives you an opportunity to be successful.
Carter Scapp, our stat guy, said that your offensive line, defensive line averages around 240 pounds. Harrisburg's some big boys. They're around 270, Coach. So
It'll probably be more.
yeah, maybe that was before dinner, Coach. So,
Yeah.
but your guys have been so dominant in the trenches. What is it to all that toughness that they have like that?
On the offensive side, it starts with John Tuttle, our O-line coach. Like I call him the miracle worker. And how he does it, I have no idea. I mean, I get how he does it, but some guys just have that right demeanor, the right fit, and our guys they just believe in what he does. He's an exceptional teacher. He helps out with their D-line, and Colin Smith who was a DB actually at West Virginia University, but great football mind. So those guys make it happen. Like with all our individual work and group work, we just try to improve every week. And I think it's just a great combination to keep teams off. They just can't really pin their ears back. And then if they pack the box with 8 to stop Johnson's, either one, then we could throw it over the top of them.
When you're looking at some of the film, what stands out? I know they have a name, Elias Koch. I think we talked about him years ago, Coach.
Tremendous player. I mean, Elias will be an NFL guy, most likely. Really talented guy. And we saw that when he was a freshman. Kevin Brown, their offensive tackle, defensive end, when he was a sophomore, and this is year 42 for me, so I've done it for a while. I've never seen a player as powerful and as intimidating as he was as a 10th grader.
Wow.
On the O-line, D-line. And he's a senior now. When you see him, you're going to go, oh, now I know what Coach said. I mean, he's 6'5", 290. His sophomore year, he was doing backflips in the end zone before the game. And that's an offensive tackle. Well, that doesn't happen very often. And so they're very physical. You'll get overpowered at times. Can't get frustrated with it. It's one of those deals where you got to be 3 claps on to the next play.
Well, you talked about that offense, Coach. Your defense only giving up 16 points a game. What do they got to do this Friday? Some of those names that you talked about, Lewis, Walker, Koch, how are you going to slow all them down?
Well, you won't, because they're going to have, some big plays. But what you can't do you got to hope that you're not giving up 5 or 6 of those really large chunk plays, those big touchdowns. Hopefully we can tire them out, but you can't give up the 2-yard gain, post over the top, 65-yard touchdown. That's what would bury any team they play. So we have to counter that. And I know Mike Cesarano will have our defense. They'll have them ready. We just have to go out and play ball. Like last week, Doug Lair had a knock away on a definite touchdown, and he just timed it up. You'd be like, wow. So if we could do that, just, not play panic football. We haven't. I mean, I don't think the moment will ever be too big. If the opponent's better, they're better. But our guys will just come out and compete, do what we expect them to do, and, let's see what happens. But you have to take that approach.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens this Friday night. It's going down. Come on out. Get out there early. We're at West Shore Stadium, 7 o'clock's kickoff. If you can't make it, you can watch it on Sports Shooting Stars.
We bring the game to you.
Contact us, sportsshootingstars@gmail.com.